No, I won a bunch of money on the UConn game this weekend, and
I
I'm almost positive I'm not going to get paid out. My bookie is a scumbag, and he hates me, and I'm almost yeah. I don't expect that money to come anytime soon.
I got an idea. Why don't you bet legally then? Or
No,
why don't you do something about it?
I need to talk to my boy. I need to talk to my boy Shohei and see if I can get some foreign connections.
Just go through the interpreter. I'm sure you're home. Let's go back to Shohei for a second. The amount of videos that have come out of him, like even betting in the dugout and like playing different games, and this conspiracy that's grown is. I think we might have a problem with
He's
the
really-
Dodgers and his betting habits. It seems like it's something pretty large.
Wait, it's not Shohei though, right? It was the interpreter.
Oh yeah, way to consume everything you hear, big media.
Yeah, you're not
So
on.
you guys are
also
saying
social
it's him. You're saying he's the problem.
There's a lot
Jordan,
of videos.
Jordan, you're hearing the stories.
Who
$2
are
million
you actually
for
believing
plays.
is doing this?
I said I think it's Shohei. Who do you think?
I
Yeah, I
Of
think it's
course
Shohei.
it's Shohei. What bookie is gonna give a $4.5 million credit line to a guy who makes $150,000 a year? Then I
That's
definitely
true.
need to talk to this guy because I think I could
that's
just take out a $2 million loan and hide away in Phuket, not even bet anymore.
There's a lot of stuff. There's stuff about before playing the MLB. There's stuff in the dugouts of him just doing like little game bets, but everyone does that. But then there's like one like $2 million was bet in his hometown on one of his games, and it was like one of his worst pitching performances ever.
What's his hometown?
I don't know.
I
Don't make
think
me
those
try
claims
that.
were substantiated.
Wow. All right, let's get into the UFL, boys.
The UFL.
Welcome to
There you go.
Next Level Sports UFL podcast number 2, coming at you live here, 7 a.m. in Los Angeles with Tristan. Since we don't got the names, how about you guys actually introduce yourselves this time?
It's not 7 a.m. in where I am. It is 9:30 p.m. in Saigon. I am Robert.
10 a.m. here in Buffalo with Jordan.
Cheers, boys.
Coast to coast coverage. Cheers. All having a sip of our nighttime tea.
Yeah. I'm trying to find what the attendance was for this week. Obviously DC and St. Louis had a strong showing. But I want to know what the
St.
overall
Louis had the
attendance-
most people ever.
St. Louis did
40
very well.
40,000 plus.
As we called it, saying that the fans were going to come out and support the squad.
It's
It was
true. Another
here's
strong
the
weekend
key.
of football, though.
Here's
Oh,
the
yeah.
week 2 TV ratings. Here's TV ratings. So this first game on Saturday had 720,000 people to watch for the Brahmas game. The night game had 900,000. The first game on Sunday was 903,000 and 850,000 on the last game. Which
Wow,
I mean,
Stallions
during
and
the
Panthers.
girls' national title game, which was kind of like interesting.
Yeah, they were going head to head with Caitlin Clark, also, who's a ratings monster.
That game was good for 3 quarters, or at least a half.
That game was good. I watched the Final Four and the championship game for the women's. I think I did not watch the Final Four or like one half of the men's final. So I will actually say I did. I was way more tuned into the women's college tournament. Which if you listen to our vice president, actually didn't start until about 2022. 2 years ago, they were allowed to do brackets in the women's league. Not 1985 or whatever.
That's that glass
Oh.
ceiling they're always talking about.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan, you weren't. You don't have social media, so you probably didn't hear this either. Kamala Harris was talking about how, women's college basketball weren't allowed to have the brackets until 2 years ago. So it's a big step forward.
Is that
even
true?
though presidents have been filling out women's brackets since like 2010, and like it's been around
Jordan,
since
Kamala
19.
Harris is the vice president.
Thank you. Thank you. You know why she's vice president? Because the real president's from the hometown of Scranton, baby. Give me Joe Biden from Scranton. All right. You want to hear the attendance numbers from this weekend? I'll give you the attendance. The St. Louis had 40,000 fans, like we talked about. DC Defenders, any guesses?
They had 29,000 fans.
32.
15,000.
19.
Good try. And then Michigan
15?
had 15. Michigan had 7,000, which and Memphis had 8,000 or almost 9. So
Wow, look at that.
I don't know.
St. Louis.
Up and down,
Shout
up
out
and down.
St. Louis.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's awesome.
Let's get into it.
40,000 people.
First down. Yeah. Let's get into it. First down, reviewing the games from last week, recap of last week, starting with the San Antonio B-Words over the Memphis Showboats 20-19 in Memphis, Tennessee.
Should we just call them the San Antonio football team?
Let's just call them the B-Words. I like that.
Why are they the B words?
They're the Bahamas.
They're B word. The B should stand for the B should stand for bounce back.
I think
That's
we
what they
could
did
get
in the third
to.
quarter.
I think we could just call them the Brahmas. I think we.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue was with the Brahmas.
Brahmas.
Like, we're good. Like the first week.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. You're on fire now.
I get a week and a half pass.
All right. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good game. I thought the Showboats were going to pull it out, and then the Brahmas just there's something in that team, man. They just fight, pulling it off at the end. 20 points in the fourth quarter, all their points in the fourth quarter. I don't know. I thought I don't know. They just right now, 2 weeks in, they just look like a team that's just going to make every team just like earn that win, and they're going to fight to the end of every game. So I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, Memphis blew a 16-0 lead in this game, with all the points coming in the fourth quarter, as you said. San Antonio was a 4.5-point favorite coming into this matchup. So the win shouldn't necessarily be unexpected, but the resilience that they showed, I think, is really what's going to be the long-term effect on this game, because now they've really solidified themselves as a team who, after last week's impressive win also, they're sort of separating themselves from the middle here.
Yeah, slow start, but man, great game, great for the UFL. A lot of fun to watch. Chase Garber's great performance in the end. I mean, 29 for 40, 73% completion rating, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, but I think that's fine with 40 passes.
It's a good stat line.
Even Cookus, good game. 17 for 31, 1 touchdown. I'd say Memphis actually ran the ball pretty well too, comparatively to San Antonio, but just couldn't put it away with the defense, and couldn't get the scores in the second half. Only 2 field goals, and field goals ain't going to cut it.
Well, I think we talked about it last week in the 4th and 12 rule, like the onside kick rule, and how excited we were to see it, and then we get to see it in this game, and then not just that, but then they take the ball, they work it all the way down the field, and they score again. I don't know, it was fun. That last 2 minutes where the Brahmas were just on attack was obviously impressive to watch. Where was that for 3 quarters though? I guess that's where you're what's going on here. But I mean, again, sometimes when you're fighting for a championship, you're fighting to be the best team. You just gotta win the games that are in front of you, no matter how that comes.
With you 100%.
When they converted it, let's back up a little bit too. That was off of a really bad pick with about 4.5 minutes left from San Antonio, and I really thought that was going to be one of the final nail in the coffin, because they had a little bit of momentum, but that was just a terrible throw, and that just should have eaten that or whatever. But seeing the conversion was very, very cool. I think it's something that the NFL, after watching that, I'm like, who wouldn't want a 4th and 12? Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely for the NFL to look at.
Memphis had their opportunities, though. They had 5 red zone trips. They only scored 1 touchdown on those trips. So you got to convert when you get down there. especially when you have such low scoring games. Like even if they score 2 touchdowns on those trips, they win this game. It's not the final score. They only lost by 1. It's 20-19.
Yeah.
They scored at any trip, at any way. They scored one other trip.
We saw a lot of ball movement in a lot of these games, but red zone efficiency was pretty poor. I think throughout the league this week.
The big takeaway that's going to be coming after this game is obviously destroying and his neck injury, which is not funny. It's not funny, guys.
Not funny at all.
No one is saying that that's.
No one's laughing.
We all saw that highlight, and they posted it out everywhere. And the first thing anyone who's ever played football in their life said when they watched that highlight was, "Ooh, probably shouldn't lead with your neck there." And
who was the first person you thought of? Who was the first person you thought of when you saw it?
Oh, I mean, take me back to Eric LeGrand. Take me back to Ryan Shazier. I mean, these were.
I would have said Eric LeGrand too.
Destroying tried to break his neck there, and unfortunately he'll be out the rest of the season.
Oh, that was I didn't see that.
He'll be out for the rest of the season.
Broken neck usually does that to you.
But you know what? You can still make content in the hospital though.
Yeah.
Well, you can't prepare for that on YouTube,
But hey, I know he might be down right now, but what I'll say to him is if, Eric LeGrand and those other guys are anything to show, it's actually the start of your career, getting an injury like this. So you're on the up, man.
You can only get up from here. Also one thing about that, the guy who got rocked by destroying, buddy, you can't come up clapping and pounding your chest, acting like you didn't just get laid out by the kicker. Okay? Right. That guy weighs, 135 pounds soaking wet? He looks like he should be on the French soccer team, for crying out loud.
Tristan,
I don't know what he's doing out there acting like
Tristan, what was your biggest hit on kickoff in your career?
Biggest hit on kickoff in my career.
I'd say tackle on kickoff?
High school, my senior year, I had 6 or 7 between punt and kickoff, which is way too many to be having.
Yeah,
way too many.
I'd say the best one I had was playing against Camden Catholic, our rivals. Guys taking it around the outside by the sideline. I used those wheels, ran with those wheels. Got him. I think got his back plate or whatever, and fell to the ground, and I whipped him, and I took out 2 of his teammates on the sideline by just throwing them down to the side. So I got a 3-for-1 special right there. So I was pretty happy about that.
Oh, so let me ask you this then: what is the obviously you hit nobody throughout your practice, right? You're a kicker, you don't do anything. But seriously, how does that feel? To just finally get to just smack somebody? Are you just juiced up? You have to be just
yeah. I'll come up from a pump. If it's a good hit, a punt, and it's a decent tackle or something, great. If it's because no one from my teammate touched the guy, that one, I remember we were losing that game, and I think I got up pretty mad at the team. I was like, why do I got to make the tackle? But it does get me juiced up. I said, I'm here to look pretty and kick the ball.
Is there a reason you didn't try and claw the ball? Did you not try to rip the ball out in any of these tackle attempts?
I think I might have actually had one forced fumble throughout my entire career, JV, everything. But no, these guys were pretty fast, so didn't have a lot of time to, make a decision when they're running in the open fields. It's not like that, gritty interior O-line, D-line.
Yeah, but you know what? It's all the mindset, Tristan. You know what? You agree it's better to be the hammer than the nail, right?
Yeah. All right, so going into game 2 now, the night game, which was obviously, we talked about St. Louis's fan base being awesome. The night atmosphere is always a great addition to a football game. Battlehawks fighting to the end, kicking the last second field goal to win a game 27-24, hitting the first over of the UFL, people. Could we get a clap or something for it? I mean, gosh, cheers to that. Cheers to the first over of the UFL.
Cheers,
season.
Boys.
Good game.
Good hits.
Yeah, it was competitive, back and forth the whole game. Slow start, but then throughout the rest of the game, it was just kind of back and forth between the two teams. McCarron, decent day, 2 touchdowns, 250 yards. Luis Perez,
Decent day.
Just a battle of quarterbacks, really. two good quarterbacks, good battle. So, but again, I think the Battlehawks had a impressive win at home, a good win at home, and yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. Decent day,
Well, I
Jordan.
want to.
My boy AJ McCarron balled
19
out.
for 29 isn't.
Just like I said he would. You guys were all hating. I said AJ McCarron looks good. I'm excited for him. 19 for 29, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, 160.1 rating. That's a quarterback I'd like on my team. I'm pretty happy about that. But I think the biggest move by the Battlehawks that really helped them out was putting Wayne Gallman on the bench and putting Durant in there running the ball, 14 attempts, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, averaging 7.4 yards a carry. I think that was a big move. Their rushing attack looked a lot stronger. Renegades, yeah, I still think Perez is a really strong, quarterback, 21 for 29. They should have been throwing the ball more because their rushing was not strong, averaging 3 yards a rush. But Perez, I think, is having 2 great games. Feel bad for the guy that it's not gone his way so far.
I mean, 2 good games, but hasn't won. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Win football games.
Let him throw the ball more. I mean, 21 for 29. He's completing pretty much every pass. Have him throw the ball 40 times if you can't run the ball. They just can't run the ball.
I want to touch a little bit on McCarron because I know Tristan is obviously really high on him. And when he was in the pocket and he had time, he was making all the throws that he needed to make, I thought. But the thing that's really separating him, I think, is his pocket mobility right now. He's able to step up and avoid that pressure a little bit, and he's using his legs. During one of the 2-point conversions, he even got the DB to come down and bite on a fake of him going to the end zone. He tossed right behind him. I'm like, buddy, you should not be opting to chase AJ McCarron down in that situation. McCarron is not. Yeah. He's fooling guys out here, and it's he's good for him. I mean, it's clearly something he's worked on.
He's just too juicy. He's too juicy. They these DBs and linebackers see these quarterbacks. They say, "Oh, let me get some of that," and they come flying down. And then he's like, "Gotcha." But yeah, true. And how old is he? 32 now? AJ McCarron and still mobile, making plays.
He's not a rookie.
He wins.
UFL rookie.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I also
of the year.
Going back to that, the idea of the crowd being so well, that watching it on TV, that was a loud, you could hear the crowd getting into it. The energy was in that stadium. It was fun. I don't know.
They need a better name. Because right now they call that stadium the Dome. I'm like, no.
I like their helmets.
It's got to have something to do with the Battlehawks.
I like their helmets. The Nest. Yeah, let's call it the Nest.
Ooh,
the Nest.
The Nest is good. The Nest is good.
Yeah, their colors are very Air Force, Jordan. I get big.
I know, but the helmets are cool.
Yeah,
they look good.
Yeah. I did want to point out.
You got to salute the soldiers.
We had an Entourage reference, which I know is all of ours top one of our favorite shows.
Yes, sir.
Which will definitely now put us in a certain demographic of people, but it's okay.
If they couldn't figure it out by now, they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. But we had the announcer Seth Green, the tight end for Arlington. He caught a first down, and the announcer goes, "Seth Green." He goes, "Hey, you should have Sloan call me. You should ask Sloan about me." It's like
tell Sloan I said what's up.
Tell Sloan I said what's up. It was so I don't know. It's whenever you hear a wild reference from a show like Entourage, on a sportscast, which you get the Victory, the Johnny Drama stuff.
Yes.
It's always good to see that out in the wild though.
Victory.
Yeah. Shout out Johnny Drama. Shout out Kevin Connolly. Shout out Doug Ellen. Big fan of Victory the podcast as well, and I think they got a new show coming out pretty soon. Is what I'm hearing. I know Jordan, you wouldn't be hearing about it since you're not on social media, but I think there's a new show coming out with Doug Allen with both of them.
All right, well then, Game 3, first game on Sunday afternoon. Birmingham Stallions taking down the Michigan Panthers in Michigan, in Detroit. I think this game we could pretty much say was just a game of defense.
Whoa.
Specifically, Taco Charlton.
Defense
and EJ Perry being not good after Pearl said he was going to be the best quarterback this year.
True. And
No, that's all I got. They have a guy named Scooby, which is kind of cool. Scooby Wright the baller.
You're right.
Kicking, my
I'm
man.
sorry. No. I'm sorry. Let me add, we might be wrong. We might have all been wrong about the 2-quarterback system because the Stallions are using a 2-quarterback system and are winning 2-0, and it's working. I mean, Aiden Martinez comes in there, and that offense gets faster, gets more mobile. They're able to run the ball better, and then Corral comes back in there, starts flicking the we might be wrong. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, man. It's a small sample size. But
They're winning games. They are winning, and winning is the most important thing. But a combined 13 for 27, 141 yards and a pick. It's not nothing I'm too excited about. I mean, they're moving the ball down the field. Again, Adrian Martinez and his rushing. Matt Corral and his rushing. He had some strong rushing. He always had one rushing touchdown.
Yeah,
I think both quarterbacks running the ball and their running back, pretty strong. Adrian Martinez, of course, with his legs, but Matt Corral too. I think had a good third down rush for a first down. He also had another one where he was stopped on the 1-inch yard line. Adrian Martinez fumbling the ball in the red zone. Other red zone issues. There could have been a few more touchdowns in this game that just didn't happen because red zone inefficiencies. But neither of them I feel are throwing the ball that well, but they're getting the wins. They're doing what they need to do, and that's all that matters.
look, as long as the Stallions defense, specifically that front line, keeps playing the way that they're playing, they're going to be all right. You look at the Panthers running backs today, or I guess when they played, 9 carries for 13 yards. I mean, that's all your front seven right there. That's ridiculous. Michigan on the other hand, their front line had 0 sacks the whole day. You look at Birmingham, they had 91 total yards lost off of all their sacks and TFLs that they had. Taco Charlton had 3 sacks himself. They finished with 7 sacks and 8 TFLs, 1 pick, 1 forced fumble. I mean, they were dominating all day long.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the sack stat is what stands out the most is 7 sacks for 45 and Michigan 0 for 0. And honestly, 2 of Taco's sacks, he just wasn't blocked off the edge.
Right.
I don't know, maybe let's block their best defensive lineman and not let them have a free run at the quarterback. Because that was 2. So I don't know. I mean, obviously a really good defense in the Stallions, but I think, maybe a mix of the Michigan Panthers O-line just having to, I mean, obviously O-line takes a little bit to get used to, but I think they need to, get back in the film room a little bit because it was rough.
Yeah. I will say, we're talking a lot about Birmingham's defense played amazing, obviously. Michigan's defense, though, don't sleep on them. The fact that they held the Stallions to that little point. The Stallions had 4 field goals, and they were a 34-yarder. So what's that? That's pretty much from the 14-yard line or 20-yard line or so. You got a 30-yard field goal, you got a 38-yard field goal, and a 20-yard field goal. So those are all within the red zone that these teams are kicking them. So 4 stops in the red zone, plus the Adrian Martinez fumble on the 1-yard line when it was third down. They already stuffed them 2 or 3 times there. So Michigan's defense, I thought, played pretty well for the lack of offense that they had.
But he's right,
Also,
and I think that was a theme. I think that was a theme for the weekend was squandered opportunities in the red zone, walking away with 3 and not 7, 8, 9, whatever. It's got to be a point of emphasis for these coaches moving forward because it's not. You can't keep getting away with it. Someone's going to get good at them eventually.
Sure. And I mean, obviously, we could. Bates another big boot, 62 yards this week. I mean, this guy's going to get a contract. We could talk about it in the next segment, but this guy's gone to the NFL as soon as it comes.
Well, technically, they're not even supposed to be reaching out to him.
They're not?
Yeah, they're not even allowed to.
Not till the season's over. But
okay.
I mean, that man's going to have a contract waiting for him, and as he should.
if he doesn't already, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how
And it's so good.
the coach asked him too when he when there was like a second left. They're like, do you want to kick it? He's like, yeah. And he came out there, drilled it, had like 5 extra yards. And also the announcers even were like, this guy made a 64-yard last week. What else are you gonna do from the 50-yard line now? Like, let the boy kick it. And yeah, he did it. So
Yeah.
cool.
And the final game of the weekend, we had DC Defenders, another rocking crowd in DC. The beer snake, I mean, all time fan move.
Love me a beer snake.
23 over 18 over Houston. Kind of a slower game, but a competitive game, fun to watch. Maybe player of the game, Reed Sinnett. Guy came in late in the second quarter and pretty much balled out. I mean, 221 yards, 1 touchdown, but played, like, controlled the game, composure. I mean, that's, I think, key word for him. He was composed. He looked like he was ready to go from the bat. But yeah, good game, I thought.
Definitely. DC, it's interesting because since they XFL and all that stuff, they're 10-0 when they're in Audi Field. So clearly they feel that home field advantage. It's a great stadium to go to.
Have you been there, Pearl?
Yeah, I have once, but not for DC, not for this game, but for a soccer game.
And I do love the use. I do love the use of a soccer field. I think it's tighter atmosphere, a little bit smaller. Like Detroit Stadium is just too big. Like it looks like no one's there. Like make it feel packed for the fans and for the players.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like we said that there was 15,000 people at that stadium, but it looked like it was full. Like that stadium looked full.
For sure. I wanted to give a shout out to last week, the DC Defenders. They released tackle John DeLace, who had probably my favorite stat line from week 1 of the season. If you do not remember, I will refresh you now. His stat line was 7 penalties, 2 sacks allowed, 2 touchdowns canceled out. He missed a block on a play where his quarterback got hurt, and he spit in an opponent's face and was ejected. And unfortunately, that sort of performance is not up to the par with the UFL right now. So we did just mention that who was it that Michigan needed some offensive line help. Well, this guy's got UFL experience.
That career was shorter than Johnny Manziel.
I mean, that career was shorter than a lot of Kim Kardashian's marriages.
Yeah. I think he thought he was playing the XFL, didn't realize they'd updated it to the UFL.
Yeah.
The old XFL too, like 2000s XFL.
Exactly.
But
hi, shout out to Kiki Cootie.
Kiki.
He had I know you called him out last week and had a strong performance this week as well.
But you want to talk about one of the players who had to play a game. Let's talk about Giants bust. First round draft pick, DeAndre Baker. Okay? This guy had one of the most hustle, gritty defensive plays we'll probably see the whole season. Okay? Running down the field, stripping the guy. He had a touchdown ahead of him. I mean, how far did he run? It was maybe a 60-yard chase down. I mean, the guy was all gas, no brakes. He offed him.
He's an athlete. We were excited to have him.
He looked like he could be good on the Giants.
Yeah, we thought he was going to be a strong player, and then I think he had a little.
Does anyone look good on the Giants?
We got 2 Super Bowls.
Wait, you have Saquon, right?
No,
we got 2
go
Super
to Philly,
Bowls,
baby.
2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. How many Super Bowls you guys have in your lifetimes?
We have 1 right now, but we actually have a chance to win another. You don't, so.
What do you mean? We got lots of time. I hope I live, a few more years.
Not while Daniel Jones is there. Anyways,
Danny.
you want to get the second down? Let's get into second down.
I would be happy.
I gotta
to
make
see
one
playoff win. One playoff win would be enough for me.
Yeah, let me make one more note. I got a gripe with the UFL right now. Let me share my screen here. You're a new league. You're trying to get attention, be exciting. You're doing that all in the fields. Whoever is running the tech and like the website, man, it is terrible.
The
It is
website's so
awful.
bad.
It looks boring as anything. I don't know
The
what company's building this, and it's slow. Like
the
you got to
website's
view
so
the
bad.
stats here. I feel like it's from 2008. I'm clicking the stats. I'm waiting. Like when do you have to wait for anything in this
Wild.
day and age? Like getting ready, please wait. Like
I thought it
I
was going to
feel
send
like
me a
I don't know
virus.
what's going on. Yeah. Like man, I could get a lot more exciting things than this for a lot quicker on my laptop than I can for the UFL website. And then I get this, and it's just like it's just not exciting, not easy to use. I mean, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in UFL. If you need some help, reach out because I could easily go on GoDaddy and build you something better in about 15 minutes.
Didn't we talk
But
about
that's
this
all.
last week? How Dan Snyder was in charge of the social media accounts?
I think you talked about that. I think you were referring to that.
Oh wow, you're so hands off, Jordan.
All right, let's move on to our topic for second down. A topic I am very excited about: special teams.
You are
You got to
special,
be a
Tristan.
special guy to
You
play
are
on
so
special
special.
teams.
And thank you guys for calling me special. I really appreciate it.
Only because it's medically
Um,
correct.
just a great weekend of field goal kicking, honestly. I mean, again, we said Bates 62, also a 52-yarder. Birmingham was 4 for 4. Houston was 2 for 2. DC was 1 for 1. Efficient, I guess, would be the easiest way to describe the kicking. I don't know, Tristan. You're the expert. You tell us.
Yeah, first thing off the bat, like outside the long field goals, which have been great, efficiency. That's what keeps you in the NFL, keeps you kicking. And I think a lot of these guys might have some shots if they can keep it up across the board. I think we got 86%, 83%, 100%, 100%, 75%, 100%, 75%. So when the worst kicker in the league is hitting 75% of field goals,
You average
not
that out.
not
That's
too bad at all to start.
good.
Um,
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
especially you got a name like Blewett, and you're not blowing it, blowing it. That's really
That's funny.
strong.
I love that, bro.
And Bates, I, he hasn't hit a field goal shorter than 52 yards this season. He's got a 52, a 62, and a 64.
I'm a
So,
little worried if he can't hit the chippies.
yeah, I'd be
We
more
have it.
pressured.
I'm
Inch
not.
doesn't go in.
I'm not
I'd be
worried
more
about it.
pressured about the chip shots now.
He looks just like throwing darts at it. I mean, this dude is.
I
Yeah,
mean, he's
I'm
long
good.
tossing, man. Let's see if he can hit the flat.
yeah. I mean, Showbo's kicker 6 for 7 field goals already, so made a bunch. The crazier stat is Chris Blewett from the Stallions. He's 5 for 6 on field goals. His long is 38. He hasn't kicked a field goal outside the red zone as of yet, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is
Stallions, I
tough.
know you're 2-0, but you guys got to start scoring some touchdowns.
Definitely. All these teams do. I mean, you know what? It's kind of, and I forget what was the spread for the DC game. Do we remember that?
Let me see.
Yeah, we got that somewhere. While you're looking for
DC
that, I will say
-5. Defenders
minus
-5 was the closing
Huh?
line.
So did they cover? They didn't. They didn't cover.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Shout out to the Pat McAfee show, just putting some spotlights on the UFL. They had our boy Jake Bates in there talking super humble, talking about how he was a fan and the things that he's learned and how he hopes to make it to the NFL, and I really hope he does. Then they also had Brad Wing, old LSU punter, Giants punter, on the show, rocking the shades with destroying. Was also on that, so maybe it's some bad luck being on the show. But it was a lot of fun to watch and see them getting that national attention that they deserve for their performance. Kickers don't always get the positive spotlight. So happy for those boys that we've been highlighting them a lot.
For sure, they deserve it.
Well, here's what I
Props,
have to
because
say about it. Oh, go ahead, Pearl.
I know when they miss a kick later on in the season, we're going to be barking up them. So take the praise now, guys.
I know.
I know this league is to get players in the NFL and get them a second look, but honestly, like, the NFL can kind of just fuck off, huh? Like I don't need them coming in here and just taking anyone that's decent to like fuck off. You know, you had your chance at these guys. They were in the draft. You could have drafted them.
Should be able to trade. You should have to trade players.
There should be the worst team in the NFL should go down, and then the best team should go up. Like
that would be
English
sick.
Premier League kind of stuff. Yeah, that'd be so.
That would be sick.
It would be until they played.
Yeah, we need awesome. 4 years. UFL's got to get a little more, a few more players in them. We got to figure out how to bring some NFL players over to the UFL and want to play in the UFL.
You know what they should do is they should join with some of the Canadian Football League, and then just start growing the league. I don't know.
That could be good. 20 teams have a US side, have a Canadian side.
Yeah.
Canadian football would have to change some rules though. That stuff's crazy.
Like we could just get rid of the goalpost altogether now.
Hey, come on.
Goalposts.
What would we be talking about for second down?
Anything else?
We're just trying to figure out ways to make the game better. Okay.
Yeah. You're taking away my onside kicks. You're taking away my PATs. And you're taking away my field goals. What do I have left?
Look, I've heard plenty of times you were an onside specialist, but you know what? It never was our side, it seemed. It always felt like you were on the other side, actually.
Third down. Money making down. It's not gambling if you know you're always going to win. Money, 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 money. Dollar, 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 dollar. All right, let's get into it. Jordan, walk us through it. I want to hear about some of these great picks Pearl said from last week.
All right, so first game, the closing line was Brahmas -1.5. What were our picks? Pearl had the Showboats winning at +3.5. Tristan had Brahmas at -4. So that was the worst pick of the week there. And then myself, I had Brahmas -2.5. Or of the game for this one. So Tristan's got 1. Here's how it goes. If you go 0 for 4, if you are the worst in 4 picks, you are tarps off for the rest of this podcast. So Tristan's at 1.
Let's also say this. We didn't put prices on it, but we're gonna do $1,000 per week. Or we'll do $100 per week to have the bet on the games. So since we just called these out to start, we're gonna say we put $25 on each of them to win 25. We'll say lines were even to start off our betting. Then we're gonna go by the actual lines moving forward in the next weeks.
Yeah, sounds good. Game 2, closing line was Battlehawks -5.5. Pearls was Battlehawks -2. He was the closest. Tristan was even for the Battlehawks, and I was Renegades -1, which is not a great pick at
Tristan talking that rah-rah.
There we go. There we go.
Tristan both have 1 loss this week. Game 3.
Can we talk about the wins too? Can we talk about the wins too? Instead of just saying the losses, how about we say how many wins we each have?
All right. I pointed out whoever had the best pick. Stallions closed at -6.5. Just enough. Pearl's pick here. Pearl's pick of the week here. Panthers -4. He was on the flip side of the line, almost to the full degree of it, actually. And then Tristan had Stallions -4 being the closest, and I had Stallions -3. And then for game 4, Defenders -5 was the closing line, like we said. Pearl's pick, Roughnecks +2. Me and Tristan both had Defenders -2. So I guess Pearl is the loser
we had
this
the
week,
same.
but not by
So we
much.
had the same. We had the same.
No, you
spread.
had 2 losses.
No, we had the same spread on that.
We had the same spread on that one. But man, don't try to cover up the fact for the Stallions games. You were 10.5 points off the spread there.
Well, I was feeling it. I really thought that they were gonna. I really thought that they were gonna come and shock the world.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Let me pull up the lines here for this week.
But looking at it, I guess after week 1, or I guess this would be week 2, I would be up $50. Jordan, I believe you're up $50 as well. And Pearl, you're even for the week.
It's better
Hey,
than negative.
we're all winners.
Exactly.
We're all
You
winners.
ain't losing money, you're making money.
Amen
Actually,
to
that's
that.
not true. It's a win bet. Take that back.
Um,
If you ain't winning money,
because of
you ain't winning
inflation.
money.
Because of
Yeah,
inflation.
So
inflation. You're actually losing money.
maybe it's about time that we start talking about some futures here. I have the standings for the conferences. And, we don't need to attach a number to it yet, but I think if you're looking at a far out future right now for the championship, you got the USFL conference with the Stallions in first place at 2-0. The Panthers and the Showboats are both 1-1, and Houston is 0-2. So, who from that conference right now are you putting money on? Are you going with the favorite in Birmingham? You're maybe going to throw a bit more of a long shot in there. Someone can sneak up from the pack.
I like the value of the Panthers and the Showboats right now. Mainly the Panthers, like their defense has excited me. They just got to figure out um, some offensive stuff. Showboats should have won their game. They should have been 2-0. They fell apart in the fourth quarter, so that's concerning. But for 3 quarters, they performed well, and I was impressed. So value wise, those are actually two of the teams that I think have potential. How many teams make it to the playoffs? Do we know?
4.
Really,
2
only
from each
4?
conference. Yeah. Well, there's only 8 teams. That's half the teams.
No, true. Um, which makes it tough for them because I do like both of them. If they were in different conferences, I could see both of them getting the 2 spot. But I like to value both of them there.
Well, the
I
XFL is
think
tight also. You have San Antonio in first place at 2-0. And you have both DC and St. Louis at 1-1. And then Arlington 0-2 for the XFL conference.
I think futures. I think the Defenders might be the best line right now. Like in terms of the opportunity. I mean, also the Renegades though. Like that's a good football team, and they're plus 1,000 right now to win it. It's not a bad line.
They're 0-2.
Yeah,
I know, but
no, yeah.
but
I agree with
barely,
you, Jordan.
barely 0-2.
I agree
Hey,
with you.
I
It's a
know.
long.
I'm just saying.
You're buying low.
All right,
It's okay.
let's get into the lines this week. So opening game of this weekend will be Saturday at 1:00. We have DC Defenders at Arlington Renegades. Opening line here is DC -2. Pearl, your pick?
Yeah, I think Arlington being home, that's got to help them a little bit. You're 0-2 right now. You need a win. This is where they shape up, I think. So give me them +2. Yeah, if you don't win now, then you got real questions about your whole season.
Yeah, I agree with everything Pearl said right there. But I don't think they're going to do it. I think there's going to be a lot of question marks after this game. I think -2 is reasonable for DC to cover. I think they're coming off a strong win, getting the feeling back. And after Pearl's performance last week, I don't feel that scared about picking against them. So I'm going with DC -2.
I'm with you, Pearl. I think if there's a time you have to win, you gotta kind of win this week. There's only 10 weeks in the season. If you go 0-3 in the first third of the season, pretty much, and you might as well pack it in at that point. I feel so. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Arlington's gonna get a home, especially being at home this week. I think they'll get a win and get back on the winning track.
Remember when the Tampa Bay Vipers were supposed to win over 7.5 games and they lost their first 3 straight? That was the easiest money
rough, man.
ever made. They might have started COVID just so Vegas didn't have to pay out that end the season.
Dude, honestly,
That's funny.
you could tell from week 1 that team was not going to be competitive.
We got another night game Saturday, game 2. We have Memphis at Birmingham. Birmingham opening line -7. Yeah, Pro, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I think Birmingham has a chance to just stay on top here. Nothing that Memphis did this week really pushed me over the top. Whereas Birmingham, I think that they should have the best odds to win this whole thing at this point.
You think they cover that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Wrong. Wrong. -7 for a team that can't score touchdowns is not a good look, because you need 3 trips to the red zone then to cover 7. 3 more trips than the other team to cover
I mean,
7. Just has 3
Memphis
field
is not
goals.
scoring a lot of touchdowns.
Memphis is doing just fine. I think they've been steady. You know, they haven't been great, but I think they've been steady. I think the Stallions quarterback play hasn't been super strong. I agree. I don't think the 2 quarterback system works, and I think they're about to get exposed, and it's about to be this game in their home stadium. Give me the Showboats +7. Vinny
It's in
Papali
Birmingham.
better get in that end zone.
It's in Birmingham.
It's in Birmingham.
Yeah. I said they're about to get embarrassed at home.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tristan. I don't know if it's for the same reason necessarily, but I just think 7 points is a lot of points in this league. Like, that's a lot of points to cover in 2 weeks where we've seen games go to the wire each and every time. So I also like Showboats +7 in Birmingham. I think Stallions win. Like, I don't think it's really going to be. I don't think you're going to feel like the Showboats really are going to win throughout this game, but I think at the end the score will be within 7. So, game 3 Sunday afternoon, we have Houston Roughnecks at Michigan Panthers. Michigan Panthers line -2.5 as the favorite. Tristan, what do you think?
Yeah, but
Why don't you start this one?
I agree. I think it's going to be tight. I think Michigan's defense played well. I think they played strong. You know, we need a little more offense. It's at home again. When you got Bates kicking those field goals, you
3
know,
weeks at home.
last second winners can happen. Cover that 2.5. Or was it 2.5? You said.
Yeah.
This could go either way. This one I'm not super confident about, but I'd love to see Michigan come back strong and get a win here. So I'm going to take the Panthers -2.5.
wrong, terrible. Never seen a pick that bad in my whole life. That is terrible. Houston's 0-2 here, but not for long. These guys, this is an inter-squad, this is an interdivision USFL matchup here. Top 2 teams go to the playoffs. I mean, they got to get 1 win on the board here for Houston to stay relevant. And look, then you put yourself tied with Michigan at this point in the season, and oh my God, all the options are on the table at that point. Houston, they have to make a play, and I don't think that the Michigan offense does enough to put the Houston defense in bind. I think that it'll be a low-scoring game, so give me the under also. Put that on my card. But yeah, it's low-scoring game. I think that the Houston defense is going to stand strong.
Wait, you don't think E.J. Perry's going to get it done for Michigan? You don't think he's just going to start lighting it up?
The E.J. Perry, the MVP train has left the station. But
In the wrong direction.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, it's gone. It's gone.
It is, yeah. That thing is
It's derailed.
Into the bridge, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I think
good. I'm
for
giving
game
up
3
on
here. For game 3 here, I think this is a tough line to pick because I don't know. I'd like to say Michigan. I think Michigan's the right pick here, but I don't know. Maybe Reed Sinnett is just the guy that Houston needed to wake up that offense a little bit. Because they look like a different team once he was in there. Maybe him starting this week, getting this offense from the start. Hopefully, I think Houston's gonna hopefully pull us off. So I'll take Houston +2 as well.
Reed Sinnett was not the reason they lost that game last week.
No,
not at all.
No. And then final game, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. We have St. Louis at San Antonio. St. Louis, the opening favorite here at -2. What are your guys' thoughts?
St. Louis at -2 already. That's surprising.
In San Antonio as well.
Yeah, but you know what? I see it because I think San Antonio, I don't want to say, they're a little bit fluky. There's something about them. They could be some frauds. They could have had the ball bounced their way a couple times, and that's okay. Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah.
But the St. Louis, I think that this is a game where we could see that both offenses do really well and push the ball down the field. So the over might be
Maybe an
something
over?
here that I look at. Yeah, I think over, and you know what? I think I'm going to take the
42 is
St.
the-
Louis spread also.
Okay, so over is 42,
Yeah.
just so we know. But you said St. Louis -2. Okay.
Yeah, I like the over too, Pearl. I think you're making a lot of sense. So on this one, I will have to say wrong, wrong. I think it's two really strong teams. I think it's going to be a great game. Excited to see this one. I looking at it, I was like, whoever is the underdog, I'm gonna probably take here on the spread. So I'm gonna take the B words at +2. I think it's gonna be whoever has the ball last. Excited to see it. St. Louis played great at home, but got to see how they do away. Not great in their week 1 away game. So let's see what they can do.
Hey, if you're going to be
Yeah,
a good team in this league, you got to win on the road.
True.
I think St. Louis kind of got it going last week. Gosh, I don't like how much I'm agreeing with Pearl here. This is killing me. Gosh,
Hey,
Or how much
I
you're
don't know.
disagreeing with me. We didn't
I
get.
just don't think-
I'm against you guys on everything right now.
I don't think the Brahmas are going to go 3-0. So I'll take St. Louis. I don't know if they're necessarily going to cover. I mean, I think it might be a point. Like I think it's going to be that close, but I'll take St. Louis to cover.
All right. I guess we're arch enemies this week, boys. Good luck.
Yeah.
Sounds
Good luck
like
to you,
either
T.
one or two of us is going to go tarps off next week.
Yeah.
True. That would be something. If two of the boys were tarps off next week, that would be something. Awesome.
The only game we have different
Let's turn
here
it
is,
over.
game 2.
Oh, true. Let's turn it over. 4th down, boys. Let's get into it. We are turning it over to the wheel. I will let Pearl take it from here. Four's up.
Wheel.
Come on, four's up.
Spin
So, yeah.
that wheel. Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Let me switch back to my regular wheel so I'm not spoiling anything here. Okay. So let me share my screen. So what we have here is I can choose it. Thanks to our friends at Picker Wheel. We have the wheel. So basically there's a lot of options on here, and we're just going to spin it, and we're going to talk about whatever pops up.
Hold on one second.
Spin
Hold on.
that wheel.
So the idea was that Tristan's like, why don't we come up with a wheel about 8 to 10 things that we could talk about sports? This is what Pearl got to. 8 to 10 sports topics. And we got to about, 30 or 40 of whatever. Like, actually whatever is on that thing. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, and
Spin
we're going to keep
that
adding
wheel.
to it.
Spin that wheel.
That wheel. Spin.
All right.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Our first wheel spin is going to land on fashion trendy.
Don't you do it, Pearl. Don't you do it.
I guess I'll go quick. First thing that came to my mind here, I think you can wear Blavey. I think black and navy can absolutely go together. I think that's ridiculous.
I mean, maybe for Pearl, since that's just gray and darker gray, but
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
My underrated fashion trend
How much is a topic?
probably would have to be white after Labor Day. I think
That's
it
the
should be
South.
allowed.
That's the South in you.
Yeah, man. I mean, white, you feel more flowy. That's how it is.
yeah. I think mine would have to be button downs unbuttoned with white t-shirts underneath. A lot of people say that it's something that that you shouldn't wear in public, but give it a chance. It might work out.
I really thought you were going to be nice there and shout out jerseys and jackets.
Oh, jerseys. Oh, sorry. Take it all back. Jerseys and jackets, underrated fashion trend. By trend, is something that I've seen. I've actually seen a lot of people in college. One time I saw like 10 people all wear it the same day. Where you put on, a sports jersey and you put on a nice blazer over top. A lot of people wear casinos, horse tracks. It's a good look. It's a good
I
look,
think
and
that's
people
what
notice.
I think that's where it was gonna. I was gonna add that. I was gonna say that look is so specific to the casino, to sport or track racing. It's you just feel fresh. You feel ready to go. You feel like it's a money making night.
Yeah, if I got nice maybe courtside seats to a basketball game, box seats to an NFL game, I could rock a jersey and jacket. It's snazzy but also sporty.
F1 would be a great look for a jersey
Oh,
and jacket.
oh yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah, awesome. Well,
Wow.
that's our episode today.
Wait, you
Great
want to do
job.
one more? You
Yeah,
wanna
let's do
Nah,
one more.
no.
Do one more
You
spin.
can
One
only
more
give the
spin.
people
One
one.
more spin.
The people only get one wheel spin a week.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Next Level Sports, episode 2, signing off.
Thank you guys.